check out everything real quick, make sure we're all set. We're looking pretty good. Okay. I wonder if I can get everything in here. I want everything in the frame. Let's see. I can turn this more. This is retarded. This is so bad. Come on. Okay. That doesn't seem too bad. I'm gonna move this shit. Alright. Yeah, this is what we're gonna work with for now. It's better. We're just gonna make it better every stream. We're just gonna get better every stream. It's better now than it was last stream, and yeah, we got a bunch of other stuff going on. So let's just get to it. My time, it's very valuable. It's time to get into it. We are gonna start off with some gesso. I have never used gesso, so this is gonna be different. And yeah, so gesso, we have some acrylics here. They're all from the essentials. No idea if the brand's really that good. I've been using them for a couple years. Like, I don't know if it's good compared to other acrylics because it's like the only thing I've used, but it works well overall. But I've never used gesso, and I've looked into it, and it's better for paintings. It lasts better. The paint goes on smoother. Yeah, it grips. It's like it grips to it, but and you can sand it. You can make like textures. So I wanted to get this to experiment with it, and we're just gonna paint something here. I'm not sure. It's gonna be some type of creature, and we'll go from there. We'll start off with getting some type of gradient. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on my head, and we'll go bald, and we'll have we'll have a different type of stream. We'll have a experimental stream if it's true. We'll see if it's true. All right, gonna try and like be careful with getting this everywhere because it dries up weird. There we go. All right, so just got a little bit. We're gonna put in some acrylic. I'm gonna do a blue. And then I got some janky cheap brushes. Let's Let's see. Okay, first time ever messing with this stuff. I don't know what to expect too much. Never seen it in person. I think it costed me like 15 bucks. More like 13, but I was around to the nearest 5. Oh, I am liking the way that looks. It's got like a white. Oh, that is looking really nice. I'm gonna sit here and like do a verbal experimentation, like verbal explanation of what I'm feeling as I'm doing this. It's like an ASMR. Yeah, that they come out really. It's like glossy. Kind of reminds me of like a clay when you're gonna, and after you uh, kiln it, you cook it up in a furnace. Gets that glossy. You have to put the gloss on it though. So maybe the gesso is the same type of substance. Lime, I'm pretty sure, is in it, and Jimson, and there's like animal fat. Um, yeah, it's very interesting texture. I don't know if I'm liking this color so much though. I want to add a little more blue. Might add a little bit more of the gesso. Kind of want a darker color here. We'll add more gesso. We're going to need quite a bit of this because we're doing a gradient. And I'll just mix that real quick. Don't want to go overboard too much. Trying to get it so that it comes out. So I can close the cap without it getting everywhere. Now we're getting closer to a blue out. Like, we're getting almost there. I'm going to create probably a watery, like, sky kind of vibe through the whole project. If you have any, like, creature ideas, shoot them out, and I'll probably implement them somehow. Anything that you have, like, any idea, like, spikes on this, or do this and this, like a pig modification, or, you can, like, any animal type, any, like, thing that's already relevant, I guess, in reality. I can make it into kind of a sci-fi world. Alright. I think that's good right there. So I'm going to set that right there, and we're going to just start off. So the gesso should grip into the canvas. I think my vibrate. What the fuck? There we go. My phone had to vibrate on because of my alarm. I work a night shift, so I only got up like 4 hours ago. Or 5 hours. I don't know. Something like that. I work 2 jobs, but one's night, one's day. This dog's barking outside. What is going on? Today's been like active. I don't know. Can't really hear it, I guess, in the video stream. So I'm gonna make it lighter at the top, darker at the bottom. Should probably use a bigger brush for this. And the way that I'm gonna make it darker is I'm just gonna stack more layers. The gesso is like a texture thing. So my idea is if I stack it up more closer to this end, so closer to the person in this point of view, it's gonna be stacked up more here, lighter over here. It might be like a depth perception point. It might look more 3D. And then I might even get into oil painting. I've looked into that a little bit too, with like combining it with mixed media, acrylics and gessos, and the textures and stuff that you can get off of things would make my art stand out a little more in the way that I want it to. I don't want to adapt my art for anybody else. My art is kind of specific to my creation and how I want to be. It's not here for money. I'm here to just do stuff. So whatever happens with my art in the future is what happens. I mainly want to create like action figure type things, or like there's very specific engineering type ideas I have that combine art and the ways I'm doing it. And the more that I experiment with it, the more that they'll be implemented in real life and actually manifested. Takes more income, takes more experience, it takes more time, it takes patience, and it takes not giving up. A lot of stuff that people won't understand in this world is that you gotta do a lot to succeed. You know, like, I mean, people understand it, I guess, but they don't think they can do it because it's a lot. It's not a lot once you just start. Because once you don't, if you don't start, it's gonna take longer. You know, what I mean, you're never gonna get there. Once you start, it's gonna feel shorter and shorter, unless you're doing some, I don't even know. It's all about your perspective in life, where you're going. I came from absolute bottom, worked my way up to where I'm at right now, and my perspective has definitely shifted constantly. My ability to change has really allowed me to grow. Uh, we're just gonna switch to a bigger brush. I was using that mainly for mixing. This cord is in my way. Here, maybe I'll put this there for now. Put some weight on it so it ain't moving everywhere. Well, it's still gonna be moving everywhere. Just not as much. with my paintings, I never really care if they're perfect in any sort of way. Every time I paint, I just go with what I want, basically. I don't use technique. I don't. I just use what my brain is imagining in a way, and I mean, I use technique, but the techniques I learn kind of come on my own. I might take some ideas kind of from other people, but I won't take them directly, honestly. When I was a kid, there was an art teacher that taught us how to draw trees in a specific way, and I used that way of drawing trees to make my own type of way of drawing trees. And I feel like my way of drawing trees is unique compared to other people because of that. But yeah, you do gotta learn from other people. You gotta learn techniques in certain ways, I guess, for like shading. If you're going for certain looks, if you're going realism, depends on what you want. But for me and my art, my perspective, I'd rather be. I'm trying to put off my perspective. That is my goal. I am not trying to put off a perspective that is based on anybody else's ideas. The only reason I do art is because I don't know. My dad kind of was gifted with it. We don't he has had a hard life, but he's always been good at art, and I just all had a niche. Like I don't know, something about it came to me. Nobody told me to do art. Nobody said I was a good artist. No one said anything, and until recently, people have been saying my art is pretty good recently, but um, no one's like ever considered me an artist. I don't think I've never considered myself an artist, and I think recently I have begun to consider myself sort of an artist under a certain perspective. Other people don't have to consider me an artist to be an artist, and I don't have to consider other people an artist for them to be an artist. Art is perspective. Art is based off of other people's opinions on your work and your ideas that you put into the world. Techniques can help you put those ideas into the world, but if you can learn techniques on your own to put ideas into the world, your ideas are going to be more true to how you are and your ability to do things on your own. It's going to be very personal. Everything, art should be personal. So the techniques that I learn, I try to just personalize it as much as I can. Everything about my art will be personalized, so it can't be copied. In the sense that my brushstrokes are only my brushstrokes. Nobody's going to be able to replicate any of these brushstrokes right here. Even though this is just a gradient, it's probably going to get covered over. Oh, a loud vehicle outside. That's probably a housemate. Or I live with a couple of people. The rent is expensive where I live, so it sucks. But this is a nicer place than I could be living in. If I was living anywhere near the dorms here. I live in a college town, so it is crazy. Let's just say that it's crazy. Yeah, I could use water to help make it a little viscous. Blow dryer, maybe. These are ideas. This is my first time ever using it. I might experiment more like that. I'd have to invest in a blow dryer first off. I don't own one. I'm a 21-year-old dude. My hair is kind of long, but I don't blow dry my hair. So I mean, art projects, I might have to get one. I have a iron, even though I don't iron my clothes or anything. I use it for felting whenever I decide to do more felting. My felt designs into some of my jeans, and then I'll iron them out. Yeah, I'm loving the way this looks on camera. You might not like the way it looks. I'm loving this. The way this looks on camera. This is looking dark, spooky. I am looking at some very my mind right now is going off the charts with ideas. Like I'm visualizing so many things right now. I wish I could just like instantly put them on the paper, I mean on the canvas. But if I could do that, they wouldn't be as good necessarily. Yes. Because the creative process is what really makes art. You know, the creative process is not built in directly into your mind. It's about your mind and doing. If you're not doing the creative process. You're not, you know, you have to be doing it in the moment. Everything is built in the moment. Art is like every stroke is an action. Every action is a minuscule change, and every minuscule change makes the painting. So it's like the creative process is that totality of it. Well, I don't want to give away all my ideas necessarily because AI could be listening in. They could steal them. I have many ideas, and I'd rather put them into paintings and canvases before everyone else can steal the idea. And then my original ideas will be, you know, kind of marked by videography. And yeah, I'm not worried about people stealing my ideas necessarily. It'd be more traction towards that generalized. I don't I don't know. I'm very personal with my art in a way, but I don't take offense when people criticize it. I don't take offense when I don't. It doesn't affect me necessarily emotionally. I put a lot of emotion into my art because a lot of the traumas I've experienced in my life kind of drove me to what I do, and my art is based off of that in a way. But it's it's got a lot more meaning behind it than that. I let people try to find it on their own. I'd rather not explain it. It's I'll explain some of my art pieces after I make them because I typically don't even know what I'm making. Honestly, I don't know what I'm making necessarily right now, but I have ideas. Those ideas are very generic. My visualizations are very profound though. Like I can visualize stuff in my brain right now. I'm very I see so many different ideas with like it's just like a my brain right now is working like a time, like a think about your life flashing before your eyes type of scenario. Like I'm seeing different things just constantly right here. It's just like okay, so I'm seeing I'll say some things. I'm seeing bats flying through into like a cavern that I don't want to explain it all because that'd be giving away the subject pattern. I don't want to explain the environment. My environments, I think, are what are going to capture audiences. My environments are going to be the uniqueness that personalizes me, and then the monsters and creatures will be the second thing. Um, my way of creating like topographies, understanding 3D dimensions is in like a in like an animation style is for 3D printing like toys, 3D printing. Making 3D models and stuff of that nature. I am pretty good at it. I know CAD. I got mechanical engineering experience. I got electrical engineering experience, which kind of relates due to the fact that I'm trying to make like actual personalized designer toys eventually. That is one of my ambitions. I will say that. That is one of my ambitions. And I am going to be working towards that constantly. Probably be in my 30s before I even sell one, if I ever want to sell them. I might just be designing them and probably have hundreds of them by that point. Uh, I'll probably be videoing it all, streaming a lot of it. But over the next 10 years, I guarantee if I don't just die randomly, my success should be just guaranteed. My success rate will be almost guaranteed. And it won't even just be necessarily based off of art. It'll be based off of my engineering, my mind. It's nothing to do with anything I'm doing. But it's been my mindset and my struggles that I have overcame in life. Every struggle that you overcome really does make you grow exponentially. You see many things and you won't have to experience them again in the same sense. You take more control over your life and you don't let others control you. Once you do that, you're going to be very powerful in everything you do, not just art, not just engineering, not just whatever you decide you have a hobby or passion for. You won't you will not let people control you in that passion. You will not keep on looking for other people's advice necessarily. You'll be making your own advice. Once you start making your own advice, you're becoming an innovator and disrupting what is norm. Once you start making disruptions, you can make potentially a big change within society rather than being just somebody else. Out of the 7, 8 billion people we have on this planet, I'd rather become something that has slightly of value when it comes to providing a mindset for people to capture that is different, that can make people come from the bottom and make a life that is personalized and unique while being successful. So you won't be determined by other people and what they want you to do. You won't be determined by like corporations and government. You won't be determined by your peers growing up, teachers. You will be teaching yourself and your responsibilities. You will be learning in a different way. That is my goal for projecting somewhat onto the youth. I do this for my brothers. I've helped them out a lot. They are, in my opinion, going to be very successful based off of what I've already taught them, how I am guiding them. I I, I guarantee that my my ambitions, my ability to persuade, my ability to communicate and logically explain my emotions and my if you don't know me, you won't understand any of this, but you don't know me. So the thing is, once you get to know somebody, you will understand obviously what is why they act the way they do, maybe, but they have to explain and be truthful to you why, or else you're going to make a lot of assumptions. I don't like to say that I don't know, I'm humble or whatever, but I don't lie to people. I don't find it net my if you lie to people, you're not being true to yourself first off, and you're not controlling your brain. Let's say that. You're letting other people control you when you lie. When you have a lie that's sitting in your consciousness, it will come back to haunt you, and it will come back to haunt you again, and it will come back to haunt you again. That is one of the biggest life lessons you could ever have is being honest in general, dude. You can't just be lying to everybody. What are you gonna get out of that? You're just gonna get that one moment of instant gratification, feeling like you succeeded when you really didn't, or whatever in that situation. If you messed up, own up to it. If you did, like, whatever the hell it is, don't fucking lie. Unless it's, I don't know. Unless you've committed capital murder or something and you really are, I don't know. The system fucking screwed. The way the system works, I guess, is, uh, the way that the system is working right now is just it's not gonna last in the way it is. Let's just say that people have people can do whatever they want in this world right now. Well, not in this world. Well, in America, people have so much opportunity and like freedom, but it's not gonna be like that forever. It's not gonna be like that forever. History changes, but it repeats. It changes and it repeats. It's the same exact thing. We have some freedom now, but eventually we will not have this freedom, and it just takes the wrong people to be in power. start a nuclear war, control the right amount of people, kill enough people so that the freedom thinkers are gone. Do this, do that, and you will end up having a new world where nobody really knows what history was. You will have, it's conspiracy theories. There's conspiracy theories. It's this and that. People don't look into anything going on in the world. They just believe every media platform they read. Everything they see, everything that somebody else tells you is it's completely true. I mean, I'm not saying don't listen to people and their opinions and what they have to say, because there's always something behind it. But don't believe what they're trying to agendize. Don't believe anybody, no matter who it is that you're seeing on media that is popular right now. The media corporations are owned by very bad people. Very bad people. Every single media corporation that has like a large audience and is put on public television in America is owned by very bad people. Very rich and bad people. And then the American people will sit there and they will support these organizations that are doing damage to America, doing damage to the world, but we'll sit here and we'll blame a single individual. We'll sit here and blame single individuals because that's what they want you to do. They want you to blame single individuals rather than to actually think about what is happening. They want you to think about single-ended topics, binary topics. They do not want you to be open-minded. That is exactly what is happening. They want to poison your food, which they've already done. You're experimented on every day. And these are not conspiracy theories, people. People will wake up one day, maybe. But I think it will be too late by then, and they will start blowing up everybody. And I am not saying that as as, I don't know. I'm not trying to make a joke out of this. I'm not trying to be a crazy or whatever, whatever people want to call me, whatever. I'm just trying to be honest. It's like once people are finally waking up and actually trying to make change, they're gonna just they already have it already all planned out. World War Three could start any second if they wanted. They can do if you don't think these people are all working together, you don't think all the big everybody that's running a big Western country, you don't think that they're all working together behind the scenes? Here, I paid it. That's got foil on it. And people will judge your communication ability as if that's really like your entire your entire life. Like if you're not able to communicate what your ideas are directly to other people, they won't care. People won't care. Like let's say you're being like you got to be so specific to people. You got to use the right words. You got to use everything, especially nowadays, or else they're not gonna care. They're not gonna. If you say one wrong thing, if you say one wrong word, there's so many words that you could say that are wrong now. So many different words. I could say so many wrong words right now. And probably say some words right now that will get the stream like shut down. It would just get shut down, and that shouldn't even exist. You shouldn't. The point here is I'm trying to make is that control factors are being implemented daily on the people. Control factors that the people don't understand, and they won't understand until it's too late. They're being blindsided by the illusions that the big media corporations, which again are owned, these are all owned by rich, single-minded people who only have one agenda, which that one agenda has many different disciplinary actions attached to it, and that one agenda is not really able to be worded in a way with the English language, honestly, necessarily, other than saying pure evil. Or if you want to be religious, you can go on that factor, which is just another perspective factor, which they will use against you, which they've been using against you constantly. You go to any church nowadays, I guarantee you it's not going to be even close to what it was like back in the day. And I don't even need to exist back in the day to know that. I already know the factors that are happening in the world. People will say crazy people, crazy this. People will say whatever. But I don't honestly care. I've experienced enough in this world. I've experienced enough of the morality of people and their stupidity across their moralities. The people don't understand what is like actually going on with themselves. How are you going to understand what is happening around you? First thing you gotta do is understand yourself. You gotta understand who you are, and the way you're gonna do that is not by going to the media and asking for an opinion around this topic. You have to look within and find what you really want to do, and do it. Don't take shit from anybody. Anybody. Your boss. I don't take shit from my bosses. I might take shit and not if I mess up, okay? So I might take shit if I like make a mistake. I will like eat shit and I will own up to it. I will literally own. I will own. If I make a mistake, I will tell my boss. I will. That is something I will do, and that is something that an employer would want. Okay, and then this is how you can build up into a decent job, a decent career. However, that is going to probably impact you negatively in the sense that you're not going to be able to control yourself. You're going to be sitting there more focused on a career and a job, which you need in this world. People are so stupid. They're like, "Oh, you don't need a career. You don't need a job. You don't need this. You don't need to work for corporate. Corporate is bad. It is bad. Corporate is bad. But you might have to work for corporate for a bit. You know, you have to build your life up from somewhere. People don't. I don't. If I didn't have two jobs right now, I would have no income and I wouldn't be painting right now. I wouldn't have this desk. I just bought this desk. I wouldn't have anything. So if you don't want anything, I guess go be a lazy bum on the street that's addicted to drugs that you rarely can find, because that's what most people do these days. That most of my peers that I like grew up with, they are very, very ignorant people who have no idea what life is outside of the spectrum that they have lived in because they've been told lies. Their whole lives been told lies by their parents. I'm very grateful for my parents, honestly. They have struggled a lot in their lives, which then that implemented a lot of struggle into my life. But they never like enforced me to believe anything, I guess, except that people are not as they seem. They've really implemented that into my eyes when I'm at a really early age, and I've always since I was very young, at least probably 5 years of age, have been aware of people and what they do and why they do and how they act when they do things. It's a lot. I've learned a lot about people's psychology. I've studied the brain. I wanted to understand why I was feeling the ways I was feeling, and nobody could relate at my age. And all these things have really manifested me into a person who's completely unique. And I'm not saying that to be a person, that's egotistical or however. I do have an ego. Everybody has an ego. You can't hide your realness. People are so fake nowadays. They want to be the perfect person. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. The world is built off of a madness. It's the creation of madness. And once you can realize the madness, you're going to be able to do way more things in life with more freedom, more creative action, and you're going to succeed way more than everybody else because everybody's a sheep right now. Nobody is awake. Nobody is creating. Everybody is consuming. That is the point, dude. There's so much knowledge that I wish people would just kind of think about for a little bit, but they won't. Everybody is so focused on their friends, their girlfriend, their this, their parents, their this. They have no time to actually focus on themselves. So how are you going? My entire life has been focused on myself and my generalizations on what I want to be, how I want to create it, how I want to get out of the place I was at. And it's been manifested and it keeps on getting manifested. The point I'm trying, there's just so many points. There's so many points here. Life is a matrix of madness, okay? Life is a matrix of madness. People are very, very clueless nowadays due to social media and the technological revolution, okay? So this just meditate in your mind for a little bit without listening to somebody else. And sit alone in your room, be lonely for a bit, because there's a lot of people that have they have a really hard time being alone. I'm alone almost every time I'm not at work. I'm almost alone. There's no unless I'm out and about getting shopping, doing this. I'm almost every time alone, thinking, doing, trying to become greater every single day. People are so distracted by so many different things. They cannot focus on anything. I am so focused on so many different things that are I'm very detail oriented in. I've gotten a lot of experience in, and these generalizations have become specializations in many different fields. And I keep on going into specializations because I have the time and willingness to. I don't have a kid. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have these burdens, they would say, which they make them burdens due to perspective. I have two little brothers that I'm trying to help out as best as I can. I do a lot, okay? I probably spent a couple $1,000s on my brothers when I have low income. Like I'm making really low money. Probably spent a couple thousand. I drove 8 hours away to take my little brother on his field trip that was like 3 hours away. I went on a bus with him and everything. I drove 8 hours away to my house to help him because my parents are not able to do that. I've done so many different things, not due to me wanting to have this perspective, like have other people appreciate me, not have other people. I don't care what other people think of me, and I never have. Oh, I did at one point. When I was younger, I did care. But then eventually my ability to care grew out. I stopped caring. I stopped caring. As I grew into an adult, that is honestly one of the things you have to do. You have to stop caring about every single person. There are too many people to care about. Once you wake up out of that, you need to focus first on yourself, and then once you start growing, you can start caring more about other people. But you aren't going to be able to grow while you're caring for others as they're sucking blood out of your life, and then you put the blame onto them, causing even more blood sucking. And then it's a constant rupture it's a rupture of your livelihood. So you become a mentally complex person that has no interest in succeeding anymore due to other people around you, due to the things that you perceive as bad when you really are just stuck in a position that you can't break away from because of either your fear, your ignorance, your lack of other perspectives, open-mindedness. There's many weaknesses you may have. There's many weaknesses that you probably do have. However, you can always break away from them. Learn how to break away from them. You don't have to be a people pleaser. You don't have to be you don't have to be anything. You don't have to be. But if you want to be great in life, from my opinion and my perspective, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to not care about every single person's opinion. And then you have to also be like willing to do new things and also take other people's opinions. Well, not take them in the sense of literal. You take them, experiment with them. You take opinions, you experiment with them. Take opinions, you experiment them. You don't regurgitate information. Regurgitating information is what school is. You're just constantly regurgitating the same exact information onto your paper. You're just boop Here's some more of the same thing that you told me because I was told to learn this, and here's that. When I was in school, I didn't focus on anything that I did not have any like practical interest in. Was seeing like if I didn't see a after I went into it and like tried with it, tried to actually understand it. If I didn't see a use case for it in my future, I started to care less about it and put more of my brain energy into other topics, other things that were more personal. And that's why now I'm at college, almost having 2 engineering degrees. I'm working on 2 engineering degrees, and I have other practical. I've worked in 3 engineering. I'm in an enterprise program right now, building rockets. I could brag. I could do that. I could say that. I could do whatever. It's not about that. It's not about it's nothing about that. It's just about being able to grow. Everybody is so jealous these days when they have the option to do the same. They have the option to make I was called the dumb everybody when I was young called me stupid. Everybody, even my parents were calling me stupid. Calling me a really like they thought I was one of the dumbest people. Like that's how I was feeling as a kid. That's how I was perceiving it, and that's why I grew out of it, found different perspectives, and now my parents are not perceiving me as that, and they actually perceive me as a great like they perceive me as way smarter than them, and my dad I think is kind of jealous. I don't know. It's like there's a very different. I don't know. It's the world is very complicated. And the more that you experience, the more that you're going to understand it. And if you have a lack of experience and struggles, you're not going to be able to understand the world because the world is built off of struggles. The world is built off of people struggling. Once you get out of struggle, you're able to grow way greater than somebody who's given stuff at life. Once you're given things, you become sedated. You want to become sedated, become a trust fund baby. Become somebody that was given a job because their parents told them to. If you want to become a loser who doesn't really understand life, who wants to just be a sheep consumer in American society, an experimental experiment, you're just an experiment, then to continue on with your journey of this world that you think is the world. Because the world is totally based off of the media. The world is totally based off of advertisements. The world is totally based off of everything you have when you go into a corporate office, whenever you go into a corporate shop, whenever you do anything that is corporate related or government related, you're going to that's life. That is generally life right there, right? Because people just suck up to everything like we can't make you can't make a change. You're pointless. You're one person. You're only one person. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do anything? No, you can't do that. How many people are individuals that have created successful businesses nowadays? How many people are individuals people are taking so much opportunity for granted. I have learned so much from successful people lately, and it's amazing. The opportunities you have on YouTube to learn from successful people and then make your own ideas is just incredible. It literally could not even born in a very special time period, a very special time period. If history doesn't get wiped out within the next however long, I guarantee you it'll be wiped out within 1,000 years. But if we like 3,000, year 3,000, if we're not dead, if we're not gone, which I don't know about that, but if we're still here, this moment in time, 2020, will probably still be like talked about as like a 2000 into like 2000, the year 2000 will be talked about around that time. It will be like the biggest. We'll probably have like some gyroscope around the sun. I don't know. The human evolution might go insane, but it's not going to go that way with how we're currently at and how we've been in history. And I don't think humans are in general smart enough as a totality because we are controlled by very individualized groups. We can't become freedom thinkers like America was kind of built on. We are stuck now in a situation where people are very ignorant, very susceptible to media, very susceptible to politicians, which are controlling media, very susceptible to lobbying, which they don't understand. Very like everybody just doesn't really understand what is happening, what is going on with any sort of government control. and corporate control. Why these things happen, why COVID happened. People think that COVID was just that. COVID was some just people that really just think COVID was like just some flu that just came around. Like they really don't think it was made by a man. They don't think a man made it. But I beg to differ. You go 100 years in the future, I beg to differ. They will be talking differently. The facts are, life is not what you are told. It is what you are perceiving. And however, people do not perceive what they are told. So what you are told is not what you're perceiving. It is a very these words may not make it's like words words can only be communication is so limited because words are limited. They only hold so much data. Learning more vocabulary is very useful because you're able to, but other people have to communicate with you, and you have to have the same vocabulary. So the world is being spun in this way that everybody has these same ideas, same exact topics that they're flowing in through their brain constantly, and they're never going to be able to break out of it. They're just going to keep flooding through with sheeps. They're going to flood through with sheeps. What are we gonna do in a society where everyone's thinking the same way and we're not innovating anything? We're not creating anything new, and everyone's just criticizing anyone that has any, censorship, whatever you want to call it. That's what they want you to believe. Also, that's want you to believe it's like a censorship thing, but it's really just control. It's like, oh, the companies are censoring you because there's this word, it's this thing. No word ever should be censored. No event should be censored. Epstein files should be released. Like, I'm not like a Trump hater. I'm not like, it's just a simple fact. It's like, people are very, very, I mean, some people are waking up now, but, like, that's a distraction. The reason they're not, like, they're making the Epstein files a big deal is probably because it's, like, not really the thing that they want you to focus on. They want you to focus on it, okay? They want you to focus on the Epstein files. They do. There's probably something more hidden behind the scenes. There's something that they're trying to get through, especially with all the conflicts going on in the world. A lot of money getting put into defense contract. Just think outside of the box, and not just like what everyone's telling you, you know? Just keep thinking outside of the box. Like, why is everyone going to Epstein? Why is everyone this? Because Trump might be part of it. Trump might be this. Who is Trump? Why did Trump get in here? He's an actor. Who was Zelensky? He was an actor. Who was this? Who was that? He's an actor. Like, I mean, you can think what you want. You can believe what you want. But the world is definitely not as you perceive. And I don't know the truth. I don't know the truth. I'm just shooting out facts. I'm just shooting out what's going on. Look into anything I'm saying. I might shoot a couple like things that aren't completely accurate because like. But my way of, I mean, like I'm shooting out things that aren't accurate necessarily. But the way I'm talking about it is I'm not saying nothing that's a lie. I'm communicating in a sense that is like, this could be true. This could be true. It's these are ideas, and the more that I talk about the ideas that are more possible, and I keep pushing those ideas into my brain. So these are ways that I kind of put into my creative thinking. Also, it's like I just sit here and I will just constantly be like thinking outside of the box, thinking differently. And that's why my art is going to be very, very cool soon. I have so many great ideas. It's just gonna take some more time, like I said. It's been getting better and better. You go back to this. I mean, like a year ago. I don't even know if I was making shorts that were getting good views, I guess, but they weren't really that good views. 3,000 views was probably the top. I got a video that just got like 7,000 views. But the views are just views. It's just about an interest, a perspective. You can change the perspective. I could be uploading AI videos right now with like Yeti or whatever, Bigfoot, and like trying to capitalize off of that. It's not really my interest. I could do an NAN AI workflow and automate the entire process for probably a couple bucks. I'm doing NAM workflows with it. You know, I'm building some automations, but I'm not gonna explain exactly what I'm doing because it's kind of private. But the automations I'm doing will benefit my life and my creativity processes. You can use AI. People are so they think AI is scary. They think crypto. I mean, there's so many things that I do that have made my life better because people are scared. People are very like I don't know how to. I don't want to just keep talking like that. We're gonna move on. It people are just a little weird nowadays, in my opinion. People think I'm weird, but I think I think most other people are like most general population of America just can't comprehend anything at this moment. If you're left or right, you can't comprehend really what's happening. If you're left or right, you will not be able to comprehend what is happening. If you think a race or a religion is what's the factor in somebody's like in the way you perceive somebody, then I don't. That's not really. You're using primal instincts. You're using retardation. Yep, I used a word that people are gonna criticize right there. Look at that. It's a word. I ain't criticizing special needs kids. People will make anything into a big deal if they can. It's a fact of words are very impactful only when they're negative nowadays. You know, you have to be very negative unless they're coming up from a very popular politician or someone who has popularity. Because you have to have popularity, right? To make any to make it mean anything. You gotta have popularity, right? You gotta have a following. You gotta have people following you. Because if people aren't following you, your ideas are basically useless, right? Until you're dead, and then people start to see your real ideas. Because that's what happens with most artists, most people that are freedom thinkers. They only become those things after they die. They only become more popular after they die. All right, we're gonna start off here. We're gonna stop talking about bullshit. We're gonna actually move on. What do I want here? What do I want? We're gonna create some type of landscape. We're gonna do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get some black right here. Grab some of these. That sounded awful. And I'm gonna put a little bit of gesso in there. A little bit of texture. A little grip onto it a little more. Still kind of making the gradient almost. Kind of want a grayish. Lighter dark, I guess. We'll figure it out as we go. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do, but we're gonna do something cool here. Okay. Let's Okay, I'm gonna switch over to a different brush. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna let my mind work. I have no idea what I'm making exactly. I know that this is probably gonna be a background. This is kind of a land. Also looks like a face almost. See the eyes. You might not be able to visualize it exactly. Um, okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of water. And all right, this is what we have now. It's been like an hour and a half. I talked a lot of this stream also. It's probably been like an hour I put into it. Yeah, this is all just coming out of my brain. I want to think about it a little more before I finish it. I got quite a few ideas where I could go with it now, but I got a good basically, when I first start, I don't really have any idea of what I'm doing. And I start off with either a terrain or a face, and then I build from them into one or the other. And then I go in. This is what I have so far on this project. We will move on to this my next stream more than likely, because this is a painting and I want to kind of finish. I want to get more into painting, get more experience while recording it, probably getting people to watch, probably and see like some different designs and stuff that I've probably never seen before. Get opinions. Anyways, we will carry on next time. Hope y'all enjoyed the stream. We'll get a close up real quick for some of the details. It's hard to see with the light, I guess. It looks a lot better in person. The colors are a lot better. That's for sure. Colors are a lot better in person. Kind of like this. It's like icy. I like the iciness. It looks arctic with the lighting. So let's see. We're gonna have now. I'm looking at this. We'll probably have this like as a dark side. I didn't even intentionalize this. It's just what's happening. I made this dark. It's just gonna be a shadow. But then I realized I put this face over here. It kind of looks darker compared to this one. I'm gonna make this dark. Make this light. We'll figure it out next stream. But hopefully I remember. We'll make a divide. Maybe we'll have some sort of color change down the middle that like vibrates into a gradient across each other while trying to maintain the picture. So like this mountain right here, I'll try to keep the outline, I'll make this the same. It's going to be probably just standard color, but then I'll change the color again of everything else. So the gradient, I just built the blue, will probably be the ground. The sky, I'm going to probably do a different color. So the blue is going to be ground, and that's going to change the vibe a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. It depends on how I visualize it, when I'm feeling, when I work on it next time. Creative process isn't done in one day. And yeah. Well, we got something here. Here's the next Picasso. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.